Scottish Highlanders, South Carolina Tories, and also Redcoats. However, just beyond us is the 6 cannon British fort, the one of our charge. Now, if you look over your left shoulder, you can see a tree sticking up. That is where the British have the 8 cannon fort. And if you look over your left shoulder, you can see Blackpool sticking up. That's where the British have the Carolina Redoubt, the 150 smoothbore muskets like I have, and rifles, sharpshooters, and just past another 6 cannon. So it means that this edge of the battlefield, where we're supposed to charge into, the British have 14 cannon and 2 forts that can support each other. However, if you look behind you, you can see how steep the road is. Well, in 1779, Spring Hill that we're standing on only goes out to that black fence. It drops straight down. That is all a wide open valley, which means that 3 British ships full of cannon, anchored less than a mile north of us in the Savannah River, also a nice clear field of fire. Now, anyone remember, at 4 o'clock in the morning, we're supposed to be doing what? Charging. Thanks for listening. Yes, and if you look over your right shoulder now, you can see where the smokestack is sticking up. Just beyond is the launching point. But at 4 o'clock in the morning, we're now just leaving our camp, so miles south of town. The French argue over who's supposed to stand where in line. We are 4 hours late leaving our camp. As we march through the darkness, past the sleeping alligators, we can hear bagpipes coming from Savannah. What does that mean? They're awake, they're ready for us. That's right. Some of the guides, as soon as they hear the bagpipes, turn and run away. So if you can imagine, it's about 5:30 in the morning. D'Estaing is standing just where the smokestack is. He draws his sword to lead the charge. He looks over his shoulder, and instead of having 6 columns charge, Americans there, French here, Pulaski out gallop up the road, if you remember, he has 1 out of 6 columns. But at that moment, a British sentinel sees D'Estaing in the French column and fires a musket. Now the surprise is completely gone. But remember D'Estaing's honor. He says, if we call up the charge now, we'll be laughing stock at the Palace of Versailles. We're going. You can imagine, 375 French soldiers start coming right across this field in a column. You see the stones? These columns are 10 across and as many men deep as needed. As the French start moving forward, those British cannon open fire. The French will make it to where the black fence is behind you, slide down the ditch, and slam into the wall of twisted tangled treetops. They have to chop their way through, climb up the wall on the other side, and then they're hit with 4 lines of soldiers behind this wall. Somehow they continue forward. Some of the men will make it here, where they slide down a 7-foot deep ditch. Many of the men are impaled on sharpened pikes. They fall 15 feet through the mud and blood to the top of that wall. But they lose so many, they start to fall back. If you look behind you, you can now see 800 Frenchmen charging right up the hill, and the same thing happens. So you get the picture. Instead of charging all at once, we charge 1 column or finger at a time, and it hurts. Now it's finally where we Americans make our presence known. So, dear madam, if you could please raise the American flag high. We will march up the road, and our commander, Lieutenant-Colonel John Lawrence, he doesn't follow orders very well. Instead of going around the French, he says, oh look, the French are in trouble. Let's help the French. So, we charge right up this road. We get about halfway up the road, we feel the ground tremble under our feet. Not from cannon, but from horses. We look over his shoulder, and there's General Pulaski, saber drawn and galloping up the road. Now, is that the plan? No, nothing is going according to plan. He's supposed to wait till till the British run away. They're not running. He says, must do something to save my men. He gets halfway up the road, and then he is hit with grape shot. As he reels in the saddle and falls, the men around him are going to spin around the horses and gallop right through us. We press on. So, we will now finally make it to the very same position. So, the count of 3, I need for you to shout Congress and Liberty as loudly and scarily as you can. Dear lady, I need for you to please bring the flag forward. So, Congress and Liberty on 3, bring the flag to me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Congress and Liberty! There's a man carrying the flag to 2nd South Carolina named Lieutenant Bush. He makes it all the way to the top of that wall. He makes it to the top, however.